hooker with a heart of gold, prairie nymphs, soiled doves, sporting women, whores.
Prairie nymphs is very cute.
You're listening to The Oldest Profession. My name is Kaytlin Bailey. I worked as an hourly escort when I was in high school for no good goddamn reason. I was just super curious. And then when I needed money for the first time, I got into sugaring because I'm not stupid.
I'm Wendi Starling. I started selling my panties on the internet when I was 34. Then from there, made the very smart leap to sugaring at the ripe old age of close to 35. So I do that to help support comedy.
So every week on The Oldest Profession, I am going to tell a story about an old hoe that came before us because it's the oldest profession, so it's got to have a history, right? And all these bitches have really cool stories. So I'll be telling a story from a sex worker, whore, lady of the night, woman of ill repute, whatever you want to fucking call it, that came before us.
And you are listening to The Oldest Profession.
To The Oldest Profession.
You got to keep things spicy.
What's finger licking good? I mean, come on. Obviously, The Oldest Profession
has a history. I should say I did have shea butter because this little dog, that was a good sound check test. We just yell Maxwell.
Yeah, well, we have a charge this weekend. Trey and I are dog sitting, practice parenthood. So
what a handsome. Well, let me tell you. If your kid is this slutty, this dog, I came in
attention whore.
He rolled over. Oh, yeah, I forget because my cat's a boy and Maxwell's a cute little handsome boy. Look at you, you little cute. Yeah, I'm bleeding real heavily right now. And animals are like, they're into it.
Max loves it.
They're attracted to it. And my cat Sebastian has been really like overly cuddly, but then like feisty.
Yeah, they're like, it's like excited. It's an exciting smell, an exciting animal smell.
And guess what? I'm wearing a pad too, so everybody can smell it. My Uber driver, look at this dog. Is he just the cutest?
He's just the cutest. He's just a little ham.
What a ham bone.
We'll have to put pictures on our Instagram.
I know.
Of this
How long do you have him?
We have him for a week.
Cute.
Yeah, it's very cute. Little practice puppy.
So he's our little
See
guest.
If we commit. We have a guest this week. I gotta tell you, I won a disagreement with my boyfriend that I'm real proud of.
Yeah. What was the?
Well, he likes to kind of like peacock a little bit, like with status stuff, and he's like a gearhead, and he's specifically like an outdoorsman gearhead.
Okay.
So I needed a winter coat, and he was like, for your Christmas present, I'd like to get you a winter coat. And he talked me into this Canada Goose coat, which is a fucking $1,000 coat. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's gorgeous. The green one.
Yeah. No,
it's gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. But he sold it to me not as a beautiful fashion item, because it's, fairly like it's everywhere. It's not a unique statement.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a statement piece, but rather as the best piece of equipment that you can buy to protect yourself from the elements. That they do special shit with the goose down, and the coyote fur like fights the cold for you, and like the stitching is like magic. And I'm like, I'm just not buying that there's like an $800 value difference between like a $200 down coat, which is still an expensive quality coat,
right,
and a $1,000 fucking coat. So he buys me the coat, and he's just like, trust me, it's just better. You'll know immediately. So I put it on. I'm like, this feels like a coat. I have it for 2 weeks.
Okay.
I broke the zipper. Because it's not an unbreakable zipper. It's not a magic zipper. It's not like $1,000 zipper. They didn't it didn't cast a spell to make it unbreak. It's just a basic fucking zipper.
Yeah, it's not like a self-repairing zipper.
No, it's not a self-repair. It's not a magical zipper.
Does it have like a thing on it?
Money.
Does it have like a sensor on it so that I would assume for that much money with that? You don't have a personal sensor following you around?
Yeah, no, I should have a person.
So it's $1,000, and you have a seamstress that follows you for the length
fixes all the shit.
Right, for the length of the warranty, you have a personal seamstress that just follows you.
Now for $1,000, they will fix it for free.
Right.
But I have to mail it back to them and give them an amount of time, and I'm like, I don't have multiple. I put all my coat money in this one coat. That's what I was told. It was the best piece of equipment you could buy.
Right.
I don't have extra. I'm like, so it's
you're like
anyway. I'm gonna be wearing the mink for a couple of days.
You can't. They can't just use. They just. Why don't you just text them a picture of the zipper bill and they can Venmo you $3 or whatever the fuck.
Right. Yeah.
Was it $15?
I don't know.
It's not that much. I've had zippers. That's what you do. That's the trick.
But then that invalidates the warranty because you have some like not Canada Goose specialist doing shit to your. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
How long are they going to have the coat? Do you know?
No idea.
This should be like a rental car where they let you have another coat.
Lend a coat.
They should do that. Ask them. Where'd you buy that?
At a I don't know, place that sells skis and shit.
That's a smart idea. If that's what they should be for, you're
Yeah,
paying
they
that
should
much
have
for
a
a coat,
loaner
like a
coat.
Mercedes. Like when you take a Mercedes in, and I
Yes.
only know this because my parents had Mercedes. But when they would get their car in to get repaired, or even just to get something done on it, they would like get a tit job, get something done on it. You can tell I don't know about having nice cars. I'm like, when they took the car in to go get a nose job or get
a little
Restylane.
spruced up, a
Right.
little fresher, a little weekend at the spa.
they give you another Mercedes to drive around.
Yes, that would be very helpful in this situation.
Yeah. When you have nice stuff, other kind of car, you take it to the Mercedes dealership and they give you, that's Canada
Here's a
Goose.
car.
Pay attention.
Yep.
Listeners, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's a phenomenal idea.
I think
want
that's a new business idea, right?
Yeah.
Rather than the donate a coat to poor people, just rent a coat for people who are in between expensive coat repairs.
and coat repairs, and when you go to get them dry cleaned.
Yeah, no, I think that's reasonable and fair.
Because I have to rotate my shit, and I don't think, or you don't think about it all winter. Do you know? Because you're like, I got to take these to the dry cleaner, and you're like,
Why does this smell?
right, and then you're like, oh wait, but it's gonna be cold,
Right.
and so then you're just like rotating like a gross smell.
I feel very
That's a great
inconvenienced,
business
and I'd like to
idea.
write a strongly worded letter about it.
I think it's a great business idea. I don't know how you'd pull it off though. You would immediately go out of business. You'd have to just be independently wealthy, right?
Yeah, and I think the truth is that as an adult, you're expected to have multiple coats, which I think is too much of a burden.
Yeah, I mean, I have multiple. You don't have multiple coats? That's a great. Is that your only coat? No, you've got another coat.
But I have like spring coats and fall coats and like shit. Like I don't have a like defend yourself from the elements coat.
Oh, like a hiking coat. Now,
No, like a below fucking freezing coat.
Right.
Is what it is. Like I have like if it's 40 degrees outside, I don't even need a coat. I just like layer sweatshirts and go out, like a fucking snowman. But
right, this is coyote fur in it.
This is
the
coyote
spring coat
fur,
has like baby bunny fur.
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
it's a lighter. It's a more cute, frolicky.
Right. Decorative at best,
Right.
not an insulation.
Right, it's a spring themed coat.
Right.
I've killed springtime animals,
Yes.
so it's not goose down. It's a baby tiny chick down.
Yeah,
they're from feathers of baby chickens that don't even have feathers yet. So it's just filled with chicken skin. That's a heavy coat, though.
Yeah. That's a real
It's a
heavy
raincoat. It's waterproof.
Ugh.
God bless America.
There's a lot going on.
I know there's a lot going on, huh? How you hanging? We did yesterday in Say Baseball. We did an interview for
Consensually
podcast
speaking.
Yeah, consensually speaking.
Yeah.
And it's always funny when we do those because I forget. I mean, I don't forget. And I know as a female comic, I should be like, and as not even as a comic, but as like a chick, I'm supposed to be, with all the Me Too stuff.
Yeah.
That I feel like people are weird to me. If not weird to me, but it seems like, oh God, I just can't be on Twitter and spouting off my fucking opinions about it all the time. Because at some point I'm like, I got to find a rental coat.
Yeah, no, I have the opposite.
I'm starting a rental coat business.
Yeah, no, you got to start the rental coat business.
I got other shit to do.
No, but like I can't stop. I feel and it's totally affecting my emotional state. It's obviously not good for me. Like there are negative I am obsessed with the Me Too stuff. I saw Samantha Bee's monologue and I fucking I practically came. I scream, laughed, and then cried with joy at Samantha Bee's latest monologue about the Me Too shit and the Aziz Ansari shit. But my sex drive is plummeted. I feel nauseated and anxious.
Yeah, you were
all
real.
the
I thought
time.
when we did the Aziz thing, I was ready to make a joke and riff and talk about the Randy character. No, not now. Yesterday on the show, and he was like, "So what do you guys think?" And then Kaytlin, you just
launched into
and I was like, but thankfully I was violently ill and at the very beginning of my period, so I was like, well, I'm gonna go throw up / sneeze / bleed all of your bathroom and steal drugs from your cabinet, and it was only Aleve and Benadryl.
Which, how was that combination?
Benadryl knocked my fucking ass out. I felt like a real
Congratulations.
bitch.
Okay, yeah, you feel like a real person? You got enough sleep?
I mean, I got enough sleep. I don't know if I feel like a real person.
I don't know.
I mean, but
We all might be faking it this whole time.
oh, if we're in a simulation, my character is set to super hard mode right now, and so I'm just trying to breathe through it and lay off the substances so that natural bipolar kicks in, and I just mentally skate through the next couple months of my life.
Yeah, no, it's weird.
But the Me Too thing. So how is it affecting your sex life?
I don't want to fuck. I don't want to fuck. which is weird because like I've fantasized to rape porn all the time, like non-consent literotica.
So
but it makes I threw up reading the Babe story, and I feel like nauseated and anxious all the time, and every time Trey like touches it's gotten weird. I'm like, no, and he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't know, something, I guess. And he's like, well, and like he wants to seduce me by touching me in ways that I enjoyed 4 seconds ago, but there's just something like weird energy. I feel like I'm vibrating in an off key right now in my whole fucking body.
That's so interesting, and I'm sure there are a lot of women that feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
I personally like. Maybe it's because I'm older. I don't know what it is.
There is a generational thing that's happening. So I think sex workers are actually a part of that.
Yeah, maybe it's because I'm a little older. I mean, I'm not, but it's not like I'm like in my 50s. Like I'm, I'm 36.
Are you millennial or are you Gen X?
Probably Gen X.
Okay.
I mean, I don't. But even that, like, I don't subscribe to any of that shit.
Right. No, of course.
I'm a weird even though I like am and I. Like I'm in entertainment and like doing podcast and like all that kind of stuff. Part of me mentally is always, and this is since I was a kid, even though I'm in society and I'm living in whatever I'm living in, at the same time I will extract myself out and see things from far away as if I'm watching things play out on a screen.
Yeah.
Which is why I like get fired up about things, but then 2 seconds later, I kind of don't give a shit.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Yeah, did you see there's a physicist who just discovered that we live in a multiverse, and so like physicists are freaking out because it impacts the math or something? I don't know. I don't know. They talk to each other, and no one else.
Well, I mean, I talk about this a lot, and again, I am sober. I am not on Benadryl. I'm not on anything right now. I am on a little bit of Midol. No, but we could be in a simulation, and not to. But now I also still do give a shit about all that. We had this whole conversation last time with the poverty rich thing.
Yeah.
But even with the Me Too thing, and I understand. But the fact that it would affect your sex life, because I look at it from both angles.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, and I don't mean to sound shitty, but this is similar to the conversation we had last time. When things happen to me, like even like my apartment. Mm-hmm. Kind of going to shit. And by the way, thank you to everyone that emailed Claudia. If that's your, I don't know if I'm allowed to say her.
Yeah. No, that was amazing. Like our fans reached out to like try to help you. I mean, that was just so
thank you. I found
awesome.
a place. I found a sublet for the February and March. You're all invited to come and party. No, I'm kidding. You can't come. But I did find a place, and then I'm looking for that. Thank you guys so much. But even when things happen, I really try to stray away from as much as I possibly can. Letting myself feel like a victim of something.
Sure.
And even when I have been, as a lot of people would say, like victimized, right?
Right.
Like
yeah.
And this is the Me Too stuff, and I get it. I get that when you go on a date or you're going out with some guy, and as women, we're like, oh, I wonder if he'll maybe try to be my boyfriend, or maybe I can, maybe he'll like want to take me on a second date, and maybe we'll just talk and we'll cuddle. And that's the woman's MO in a relationship. And in a lot of dates, chicks are looking for a boyfriend, and they're not looking to fuck right away.
Yeah, no, I kind of got the impression that Grace wanted to have a casual sexual encounter. She just wanted it to be mutually pleasurable and wanted him and when she said, stop touching me that way, it's not pleasant. And he was like, okay. And then stopped for a minute and then resumed again. It's like that creepy feeling when you're talking to somebody and you think that you're speaking the same language. And then you realize that they either can't or won't hear you. And the vulnerability of that. Just the like, oh my God, I'm not, he's only pretending to understand. Or it's like I said.
Right. And I've had this conversation, you and I, when we first started recording this conversation, have had it. I've had it with someone, another podcast I do, where I've had a conversation and we're like, okay. And then we start talking and I'm like, oh, you are not, this is,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? And then I feel like I'm being railroaded, even just conversationally.
Yeah. And how shitty that feels.
Right. So, and I understand that it feels shitty.
Yeah.
I also, though, having been in a situation where I woke up and was being held down by one person while someone else fucked me against my will, and I said, please stop, and I was hit in the face, and they continued to fuck me, that is different, because I've also been on dates, and I didn't, but I've also, so it's the same, like, but I didn't feel nice. Okay, so then You said no, and then he kept doing it, and then you left, and then you left.
Yeah.
And it's done. And you can tell the story that, like, yeah, he was a creepy guy, and like
and that's
was
the story
maybe
she told. She didn't
Right.
pretend that experience was a violent rape. She didn't pretend it was a criminal act.
But the
there were
reason
no
that-
criminal
but the reason
files
that she-
charges.
Right.
She
but
didn't say like he hit me and held me down with
Right.
a knife and raped me because that felt emotionally true. She told
Right.
the truth about what happened.
Now, but here's something though. Now she brought that up because he wore the Me Too pin.
yeah, and it felt like a hypocrite. I'm like, I totally understand having been like, if you're on a date with a dude that can't fucking hear you, that like bulldozes past all of your like clearly articulated boundaries, and then is lauded as this like incredible feminist on the highest possible stage, writes a book about dating etiquette, while you'd be like, no, bro, I'm calling bullshit on that. I'm calling bullshit because that's not how you acted. And that's calling out hypocrisy. I think he put himself in that position by riding the feminist wave and like pretending that he was so fucking awesome while feeling really comfortable treating women this way.
Okay, now and just to be devil's advocate.
Sure, no, of course.
How do you know he was not, maybe he was having like a terrible day, or he was really drunk, or he just was dating a chick and she was really into it. And he's
Sure.
tried that and it worked on everybody else. And so then, and he just keeps, and then he
Yeah.
actually realized like, okay, maybe this is not a good move. And what if he was so drunk, do you know, in the same way that if as a woman, I get drunk, right? Now, if I get drunk and I'm blackout drunk and I agree to have sex, right? A lot of people in my situation are like, well, you were drunk. Okay. And so then, but if I get drunk and I'm drunk, and at the time, if there was a camera following my drunk ass around, I
Yep.
could have been like, let's all fuck.
Yep.
Okay? Now,
Yep.
if they pull the tape and I go, I was drunk, and they'll be like, we don't care if you were drunk. You said that. Well, but
Yeah.
I was drunk. Okay. But as a woman in sexual assault cases, as a woman, I would be able to be like, but I was drunk, and they go, oh, you were drunk. Okay, oh, so then you're not responsible for your actions. Now, if a guy is drunk or heavily buzzed and he's doing the finger down her throat thing and she's like, I'm not into it. And if he's like, oh my God, I was just like really drunk and I was like not picking up on the signs, we don't go, oh, well, you were drunk. Oh, well, so then you're not responsible for your actions. It's not the same. It's interesting to me. And I find it, I like fairness.
Yeah, of
because
course.
nobody was there. So what if he was very drunk?
Well, two people were there.
Right. They were both there.
Right.
Two people were there. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But-
Two different people can have really different experiences of the same night.
Right.
That happens literally.
And that's
happens
okay.
all the time.
And that's okay. And he's allowed to read it as like, she's allowed to say, I felt really violated and I was saying these things. Now, but then if he honestly, just for a half of a fucking second, if everybody give him the benefit of the doubt for a
Sure.
half a second.
Yeah.
But he's a good guy, and that he doesn't think women should be like forced into giving blowjobs to get movie roles. And that's why
Right.
he wore that, right?
Sure.
And say they're out and they're drinking, and he is just not picking up the signals.
Right. He
Okay?
lets the fantasy of what he wants from her get in the way of what's fucking happening, which we all do all the time.
Right.
Sure.
So if that's the case,
Mm-hmm.
then like to attack somebody that's a man in a way that could also be an ally and be helpful to women seems to me to be I just like giving people the benefit of the fucking doubt.
I think we're giving both of them the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, I know.
I mean, has Aziz Ansari lost any jobs or like?
No,
are
and
people
here's the thing.
taking
But
him-
here's my problem with it. Here's the issue that I have with it. And there are a lot of people who are bad guys, okay? But there are also a lot of women who are fucking assholes.
No. I don't like this bad guy, good guy shit. I think like the thing about the
Yeah,
thing
no,
that
I don't either.
happened- The thing that happened with this Me Too moment, right? The thing that Grace did effectively, the thing that Babe did, is they basically said, okay, what if we were just honest about like so much of it isn't okay? And like, why is it that we convinced women that it is our responsibility to keep the secrets of men behaving badly in private when they're not fucking paying us to do that? Why slut shaming used to be the enforcement mechanism of women's silence around these issues. Men are
Right.
terrified of women telling the truth about some of the bullshit that we put up with in bed, whether it's humiliating or possibly criminal or whatever, but it's fucking ubiquitous. Dudes think they can act like this because it's not rape. And what she's saying saying, and what I think a lot of women are saying, is like, just because it's not rape doesn't mean it's okay. We don't have to pretend it is. You heard me say no, bitch. You heard me say I don't like that. You heard me say not tonight. You heard me say slow down. You heard me say fucking like, please don't make me do it or I'll hate you. And you can sit here and pretend that you don't know what that means, but in any other context, like, if I communicated that way, you know I don't want the pie, or I don't want the tea, or I don't want the whatever. Like, so, I mean, are you going to make me hit you? And what I'm hearing from an older generation of women is, yeah, hit him. Fucking smack him in the face. And I think that kind of like violent defense of your chastity comes from an older age when the stakes were that high. I don't think we have to pretend that the stakes are any higher than they are. She had a bad date. It was shitty. It's indicative of him treating women like dog shit. And I think that if you're going to call yourself a feminist and you're going to be lauded for that by the whole community, then we're going to hold you to a higher standard.
Yeah, and here's where the blanket statement, because that's one incident and Grace told that one story. But again, dude, but honestly, not to sound like a cunt, but I've had experiences with dudes that was like a one-off, or experiences with people where they would probably think, what a fucking nightmare. And I'm like, that was a one-off. So, you know, that's not a one-off, or that hasn't worked with a lot of other, you know what I'm saying? How do we know? So yes, it sounds like a terrible date, and he was super like aggressive and forceful and like trying to get it. And then you're like, okay. And then she finally was like, you know, fuck you. I told you enough and you're not hearing me, and I left. Good for you.
I kept wanting it to be true when you told me that you heard me. I kept wanting it to be true that you were actually going to slow down. I kept wanting it to be true that you would respect my boundaries, because I said, please respect my boundaries. And you said, okay. And then
she left. And then she left. Now there's also something to be said for, if you read any woman's magazine, okay, and the game and all this shit, people are taught, and not everybody behaves this way, but a lot of people, women are taught, act like you don't want to give it up so you don't come off like a slut. And men, it's where they neg each other, men and women. It's in every fucking dating book that you read. Men, the negging thing where you call a woman fat and ugly and then she'll fall in love with you. Now the negging works on some chicks, not on me. Someone tried it on me once and I was like, oh, I agree that I am fat and disgusting. And they were like, oh, that was supposed to
out of my face. Yeah.
But so that little dance, a lot of people still do that. Some people are not into it. Some people are into it. But she left. So now the statement, and I agree with everything you said, that he's forceful in the date and he behaved grossly and she was uncomfortable and she left, right?
Right.
So now here's the thing. And I understand. Now, if we're having this conversation while they're still on the date in the room,
right,
then you can keep saying that point of, I wanted you to hear me. Okay, no, we get that.
Yeah.
That happened. Mm-hmm. He wasn't hearing her. He was not being respectful of her, and she left, okay? Was it a gross date? Should she never go out with him again? Yes. Yes, he's gross. It was a terrible experience. And so I'm on board. I'm on board. And I think if she wants to be like, he says he's this awesome feminist and he put his hands on my throat and he was aggressively trying to have sex with me, that's fine.
Is that not effectively what she said?
Yeah, but now here's the second half of your sentence that you just said was, that's indicative of him being that way to all women. And I don't believe I don't believe you can judge someone's entire behavior pattern on one experience. I just don't.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think you can put people in jail for it, but I think that people develop reputations based on how they treat people, and he did treat her that way, and she's allowed to talk about it.
I don't say she's not allowed to. I think, but
everyone's so upset with her for like blowing up his night.
I did not even hear about. I did not read about it until Ben DeMarco told me about it. I saw it on Twitter. I was like, I don't even want to fucking read this. Mm-hmm. I think great. She can say whatever she wants. I didn't read it, and Grace, good for you. I probably would have done the same thing. What I find interesting, and this is why I'm not reading it, because this kind of shit I have a problem with, blanket statements. And one person, there's some people like Harvey Weinstein, and there are examples where it's like, okay, now that is a very detailed pattern of terrible shit, okay? Mm-hmm. And then we start going into this, and I understand that you're like, okay, it's like a kid kills animals.
But
you can go, that makes you.
Aziz Ansari the way that we're treating Harvey Weinstein.
No,
we didn't take his company away from him.
No, we didn't say that. The sentence that you said, though, was that one behavior is indicative of how he is all the time, and I just don't think that's a fair thing to say about anybody.
I understand why him wearing the "I'm a fucking gold star feminist" pin like triggered her to be like, nah, I'm gonna say something. Like, this is bullshit. I understand. That's what I'm trying to say. Is like, I understand why.
I understand that also.
Yeah.
My problem is what a lot of stuff that when I can't even read it, and the attitude seems to be, and not from all sides.
But you haven't read it.
No. I'm talking about the response from other people.
Okay.
And it's something that you said yesterday, and I agreed with it, and I thought it was great. Where people are really breaking down into two parties, and instead of having a discussion where people are calmly discussing things, and people go, "No, you're a man. You did that. You're a fucking asshole. You're a piece of shit."
Can I tell you
that's
why
terrible.
I think that is?
That to me is because now there's no conversation.
Yeah,
which is good because maybe people will just stop having heterosexual sex.
I think
and the planet will
that's
end.
not. There's no way. Absolutely not. No, we fucked through cholera. We fucked through fucking syphilis. We fucked through no oral hygiene. We got whatever this is. But like, I think that women, this kind of rage that you're talking about, right? This like blinding rage that's turning crusaders out of people, that feels so viscerally repugnant, is the product of unprocessed, unacknowledged fucking trauma, because we've been expected to just put up with this shit and pretend that everything's cool so long as it doesn't rise to the level of prosecutable violent rape. Anything that isn't someone else holding you down and hitting you when you say no, anything that you don't think somebody deserves to sit and rot in a cage for, is something you have to keep your mouth shut about. And I want to know why. Why aren't we allowed to talk about this range of like gross, brutish behavior that no one thinks should result in jail time or a jail sentence, but maybe isn't something that we should be so aggressively encouraging as a fucking culture? And so, yeah, maybe Aziz Ansari tries those tactics and they work sometimes, but sometimes a girl leaves his apartment traumatized, crying, feeling violated and upset. Why the fuck are we prioritizing the sometimes he gets his dick reluctantly wet over this girl's real, reasonable pain?
I don't know that anyone's prioritizing anything. I mean, this is as far as that, like that description of we're prioritizing him over her.
We are.
How is it happening?
What do you mean? How is that? In this whole discussion of like, she shouldn't have told that story. She shouldn't have told that story.
Okay, no,
because
I never
it
said
might
that.
ruin his
I
career.
never said she shouldn't have told that story. So that's not me.
Well, what are we even disagreeing about? She's allowed to tell her story. She's not pretending that it's the same as violent rape.
We're not disagreeing about her being able to tell her story. My issue with the Me Too thing. So now
The
here's
whole
the
Me Too moment.
Here's an example of me not being heard.
Okay.
Okay. Because and this is an issue that I have. This is why, which I won't even really discuss this with a lot of people, because in their minds, if I don't walk out and be like, here's the dick of the last guy that I fucked and it's cut off and I'm holding it in my hand, then women think that I'm, you know what I'm saying, that I'm like ready to just get married and be raped for a No, no, but just right now what happened is an example of that. I did not say she shouldn't have written that story. I said, I have an issue with there's a difference, and it feels like everything's being put in the same boat. There's a difference in being violently held down and raped and having like a date where some guy's like aggressively creepy. Now, and please don't stop, because this is what happened earlier when we were talking about this. Okay. That's what I said. I did not say she should not have written the article. I think people should speak up and share their experiences. It's like Yelping for people. It's like a Yelp review. So now when you go out on a date with him, you know what his terrible sex moves are. If you're into it, cool, but just know what you're getting. It's like you were saying yesterday on the show, slut shaming. That was a thing where they would but now we should be able to do that for dudes. And it doesn't have to be like he's a rapist or a bad guy or take away his job or he can't wear a Me Too pin. But we should let you know, like, hey, like, he's got this weird move where he like is into like he'll finger like the back pit of your knee. I had a guy that used to do that.
Yes.
Like that's I think that's great. If you're like, look, he's creepy and he's a little aggressive, and there's a guy that I dated who never fucked me. We never fucked. Comic. And I liked him and I went back to his apartment and I wanted to make out with him, but I didn't want to like fuck him, and I told him that and he was like, okay, and he would kind of be pouty about it. But like I told other friends and we knew about it. So we told each other, and I tease him about it now when I see him.
Yeah.
So I think you should still tell the story, and that's the issue is, and that what just happened where you somehow interpreted me saying Grace shouldn't be able to tell her story. So that's not at all what I'm saying.
No, but
what I'm saying is
here's my question.
It feels like and I understand the blinding rage. What you described, that kind of rage though.
Yeah.
What it's doing is bulldozing people like me. who also, I have been raped, like violently raped.
Mm-hmm.
We've all gone through shit. Okay. But then I'm not allowed to have an opinion that, oh, there's a difference.
No, that's what I'm saying. Who is pretending that there is no difference besides people who are trying to shout this woman down? Like, so I get why, like, men or, like, people are trying to pretend that this woman is, like, Aziz Ansari is a rapist, pass it on. But that's not what happened. Like, and so, like, I don't think that there's anyone out there that's pretending that these things are equivalents of each other.
Right.
We're just trying to have a conversation about some stuff that's not okay, that isn't the same as violent criminal rape, shouldn't be treated the same as violent criminal rape, but is still a fucking problem.
Right. And it is a problem.
Yeah.
But then to be like, and Kate Willett had the best tweet about it. But, and I understand that's still a problem, but just to me, and like the anger, even your body language now and talking about it, the way you're pointing at me is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I understand that there's anger about it. But there's a feeling of like, if you don't agree with everything either side says, then get the fuck out, and you're not allowed to be a part of the conversation. I feel that way just in different groups of different women. And then even with dudes, like you go to a bar and guys say, and it's not all people, but I'm just telling you the fringe sides of the argument.
All right. I mean, I think there's passion everywhere, and like fucking political discourse in this country has gone haywire in lots of different directions, and this might be an example of that.
Yeah.
I think the generational difference that we're seeing is that like these young women, like this 22-year-old girl was raised in like a post slut shaming culture. So she feels comfortable talking about the sex that she had and the sexual experiences she had.
I think it's great.
She doesn't have that visceral like repulsion that can come. Like I think older women are like more nervous about talking about sex because like for thousands of years we fucking punished women for talking about sex, or people feel uncomfortable about it the way that they feel uncomfortable talking about money. I also think that, you know, these girls coming up.
I feel comfortable talking about both, for the record. I want to talk about sex. I want to talk about money. I want both.
Yes.
I'll
together,
take one
preferably.
for the other. I'll trade one for either. I don't.
Right.
When I get older and tables turn, I'll trade, you know.
But that's the other thing, is that I think that there are a lot of women who have explored like BDSM, porn culture, like even like elements of sex work where they're accustomed to setting boundaries and having those respected. And that it seems like in the vanilla world or just in the dating world, there isn't an expectation that men respect the boundaries of the women they're with in bed, or if they don't, that there's no recourse for that. Because unless you're willing to charge somebody with rape, you're supposed to keep your mouth shut about this thing. And if like anyone who's like, hey man, this thing that happened wasn't cool, the response is, I'm not a rapist, because we have this weird fucking schizophrenic relationship with like sex and communication and intimacy, and like the whole thing feels fucked. And I think this is blowing that conversation open. I think we're finally having the conversation, and I think that's very exciting. And I know that people are fucking passionate about it, but like nobody's being lynched. Nobody's even going to jail. Like we're just having an uncomfortable conversation around what I see as changing sexual mores that are for the better. We're recognizing women as people and active agents in their own sex life whose fucking boundaries and preferences ought to be respected, at least on the level of dudes.
Right. And I agree with all of that. The level of outrage, you know what I'm saying? At like, and I guess it's just looking at social media and just hearing people and the like, oh, the anger. And it's like, okay, but he's like a gross to date. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I understand like sharing that story. And I've never once said that chick shouldn't have written that article. Never once said it. Mm-hmm. I mean, but that's because I come from a place of even like but every time I've gone on a terrible date, I tell not only my friends, but I go on stage and talk about it.
Right. Exactly. You got an outlet. Like, this woman felt, yeah.
You know, so I'm obviously a fan. I'm obviously like a fan of people talking shit about other people. Mm-hmm. Do you know? So I think, but it just is like there should be a different. Maybe instead of the coat business, maybe we'll start like a Yelp review, but for like dating.
For dudes, yeah.
Like what they do with sex workers. You can write reviews for sex workers. We should just have that for.
That's
just
what I wanted to
dudes.
say. Is like, you know, like what you were talking about and what this woman was effectively doing, and the way that like we protect other women is just getting this information out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just because it happens between, like, why is it that there's just such a strong like cultural censure.
Oh my God.
Against women talking about their own sexual experiences.
And we'll do it. And especially if we want to do it with famous people, we can attach it to their Wikipedia page and do reviews, and we'll call it Dickopedia.
Dickopedia.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
That's
New
a
app
great
idea.
That's
Dickopedia.
honestly.
Yeah, that's what the shitty media men list tried to do, but got shut down. But I think if it had been
Dickopedia
called
would be-
Dickopedia, it probably would have.
Dickopedia is, I swear to God, if somebody steals that, I will murder you. Kaytlin, dude, we should do that. It's fucking
Old
genius.
pros are bringing you Dickopedia. Could we have like door-to-door salesmen, like the old like the old-timey encyclopedias where they're just like,
my God, it's genius. And then you can write reviews. Yes. Yes. I don't know why they don't have that on like Tinder and other dating sites. Because on SA, there's a message board and you can leave reviews. And I know that on like some sites you can leave reviews, like rentmen.com, you can leave.
Yep. Yeah, no, there's reviews in
but a lot of times, but even in that situation, because I know with sex workers, the chick or the sex workers can talk to each other about it. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times, even in that situation, like the clients have the power to review. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we should do that, but just like for regular Dickopedia. I think it's fucking genius.
Yeah, what if we just created like a mutual review system on Tinder? Like, you know, if you match with someone on Tinder and it's like, and then like a week later, they're like, did you guys go on a date? And if you click yes, then like Airbnb, and you like mutually review each other. And then that way everyone's on their best behavior for a minute.
Yeah, Airbnb, pussy and penis.
Pussy and pancakes.
Dude. That's such an easy way to solve that.
Yeah, we'll just then you want to talk about Tinder.
Yeah, you want to talk about people being on good behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Chicks are already usually on good behavior. Chicks are already on good behavior on dates because
we're people pleasers. We're appeasers.
It's ingrained in us, and like we've had this conversation before of like, okay, I want a boyfriend. Let me make this person like me. Mm-hmm. You know, or like, you know, the women, and not all women, and not, you know, because I just love getting dick, but like you're looking for a relationship or you're whatever, and so you go out and you're like on good behavior because you're trying to make a connection, and a lot of times dudes, and not all dudes, but most of the time dudes are just like trying to get their dick wet. So you have two people coming at it from like a real different, and a guy might but a lot of times dudes are just trying to get fucked.
I don't know. I've gone out with the intention of having casual sex because I needed like a place to sleep.
Yeah.
And then been infuriated at the dude that was fucking me for just like, it seems like he was trying to have like a willfully unpleasant experience. Like just like fucking, I was like, dude, like if you just relax for a minute and trust that like we're gonna fuck and get rid of this like anxious Russell Terrier energy, we can have a real good time, right?
Yeah.
And I've also walked out of blowjobs where I wasn't getting paid and I felt like I had nothing to prove and was like not fucking into it anymore because I kept trying to tell a dude to stop shoving my dick down his throat because I was gonna fucking gag, or like stop face fucking me. So I like interrupted the fucking blowjob, stood up, and walked out of his house. I've done that. I've also been chased and threatened while doing that. I've been called a teasy cunt. I've been like, people like this sort of like visceral anxiety fear of like, oh no, what if he gets angry, is like actually pretty likely. I mean, maybe let's call it 20%, or like something where you're just like, I don't know. There are so many people that think once a woman has consented to some sex, she like loses the ability to like further clarify what she's cool and not cool with. Mm-hmm. And it's like, we actually all have that the whole time. Like, I can want to fuck you, and then if you hurt me, I can stop wanting to fuck you. And if I communicate that to you and you fuck me anyway, I'm probably not going to be able to send you to jail even if I wanted to. But like, can you at least acknowledge that I have the right to be upset about that?
Right.
Yeah. And so it's like that conversation, I think, has been one that's very difficult to have because we have been pretending that everything's like rape or not rape.
Right.
And I think that black and white thinking only serves men who want to get away with bullying women.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to talk about real Nazis?
I know. No, I'm like, real Nazis.
Yeah, not the feminazis, but like real I just think it's weird.
Well, yeah, but see, and that's the other side, is then you have some people who are like crazy.
Yeah. No, these crazy people that are like, even mentioning that you didn't enjoy part of sex is the same as locking a man up in prison and taking away his family for the rest of his life.
Right.
Like,
and we're like,
no, bro. No.
No, I'm allowed to be like
Woody Allen's still making movies. It's good. It's
yeah,
give
Roman
it a minute.
Yeah,
You're
Roman
cool.
Polanski. Yeah, people.
What?
Yeah.
Like it's my mind just went blank. But there are a bunch.
As
of
long
them.
as you're rich enough, you can do whatever you want.
And if
and
you're
white
poor
enough.
enough, no one gives a fuck.
Right,
So
if
it's kind of a win-win
Right.
for dudes.
If you're rich enough, poor enough, white enough. Oh, wait a minute. As we listed, we're like, oh wait,
if you're a black athlete though, you got to watch yourself. You're in real trouble. You're real vulnerable.
right.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, like, I understand that there are cases of men just getting railroaded by, like, fucking bullshit ideas. And, like, 2 drunk college kids hooking up is not the same as a violent rape. And, like, but that's the conversation we need to have. Like, we need to be able to have, like, if you go, I don't know. I've been trying to force this conversation for a long time. But I think that sexual assault, rape, all of it, misogyny, for Christ's sake, is a lot like a car accident. And just because fender benders exist, it doesn't diminish the impact of fatal car crashes. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to pretend that, like, you know, it's not like my experience where I felt, like, violated and fucking violated, right? I'm not trying to pretend that that's the same as your experience.
Right.
We're not pitting against each other. We're not competing with each other. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I get to say that what happened
It's
to
a
me was
rape
not
off.
okay. It's a rape off, right? It's the rape Olympics, right? Only the top shall win. Like, if you're still alive, it's not a real rape because,
Right.
like, you know, like, I mean, this can get crazy. Like, you
Right.
can have a fender bender that doesn't ruin your life, that isn't the defining moment of your life, that isn't something that you have to parse through therapy for. You don't have to introduce yourself to every, I don't know, passenger in your car as, like, an accident survivor. Like, you don't have to make it this big deal. But there are traumatic, life-altering car accidents that exist, and those we can live in. You know what I mean? Like, why the fuck? Why do we fall for this rhetorical trick?
Right. Well, that's the thing is and I agree with you. I just, and I understand that people get upset about the anger. I think right now is that there's it's a weird feeling because I think, and then the way that men are reacting, not even like on social media, but even just out in restaurants, and men are way overreacting. Like I was at a bar, I was having dinner at a bar the other night, and I'm sitting there and like I hear these 2 dudes and they're talking and they're like, oh, and my guy that drops off my laundry was talking to the guy that owns the morgue next to where I live. And I heard them, and I've heard and these are dudes in their 50s, both the guys at the bar, the guy. Similar conversation where they're like, yeah, and the fucking Matt Lauer is when Matt Lauer got nabbed. And they're like, yeah, Matt Lauer. And they're like, you can't fucking say anything. You can't compliment a woman.
Which is crazy.
I can't even look at women. And it's like, okay, well, no, you're not allowed to look at women.
Right. Who told you that? Where did you get that?
You just
show me your reading comprehension skills.
Yeah,
they suck.
so it's on both sides. I feel like on both sides there's this. Oh, and I understand. I think the women are more justified, and maybe the reason that I get it, but
we kept trying to say this hurts,
right?
And we didn't have any language for that. Like there was like no recourse, right?
Right.
You know, like it's either fine, and that's a crazy making scenario. And it's been true fucking generations.
And I'm gonna get a lot of shit for saying this, and I mean it half as a joke, half as a serious comment. But that is the I cannot remember having the experience. I never grew up being like a hot chick that got hit on a lot, and I'm still not now. So I feel like I've never really been hit on by men.
That feels
much.
Demonstrably false.
No, I'm not like a hot chick. I don't go out and just like get hit on constantly. So and I've shaved my head a lot, and I kind of like dress and, you know, kind of like, and not if you are pretty and you are a sexy dresser, no one has a right to do any of that kind of stuff to you. I just don't, I haven't had the experience of being like, I'm just like, my life is the opposite where I'm like, I wish a boy thought I was pretty. So, so maybe I haven't had the same experiences as a lot of women have. And I also then, but like you said, it's personality types, like what the shit Grace did by writing and what women are starting to feel comfortable doing. I've been doing that my whole life. If somebody, I just am like, I don't like what you're doing, knock it off, you know? And I'm like physically strong.
I mean, I think that physical difference, personality differences for sure, but like,
so I just haven't had a different experience than a lot of women.
I don't know. I feel like Aziz Ansari felt comfortable treating this woman that way because she was a girl, right? Because she was young, because she was pretty, because I think he thought of her as like an object in his head.
And she was a fan of his, right? Not that makes a difference, but it does.
No, but I understand that dynamic and why he would why he would think that way.
Oh yeah.
And it's just...
I'm more pissed. Didn't you say something? And again, I have not read the article. Didn't you say something that he just like, she said that he ordered wine without asking her preference?
Yeah.
Now, see, I would have walked out then. Grace, if you're listening.
Yes.
Anyone, if you're listening.
I want a whiskey. Stop fucking stereotyping me.
Now, that right there, I got more of a problem with that. That him ordering booze for her, that's more indicative of him being a cunt.
Yeah.
Than putting her fingers in her mouth.
But it's just, I don't know. Like, I don't
that honestly, like, it's a joke, but it's also, I fucking have a problem with that. Unless you're in a relationship where
you know what she wants because she told you before.
And she's like, babe, I love it when you order and take control.
Sure.
When I go out, I'm happy to not order. Look at a menu. I like a dude to order everything for me. I personally do.
Right. But you communicate that in some way.
Correct.
You're not like, I was really hoping for the red. And he's like, white. This is my sexual fantasy.
He'll be like, what do you want? And I'm like,
I'd be gross.
Yeah, I'm like, I think it's sexy when you pick. Like, but that's me. You know, I like to, on the rare occasion that I'm going out on a date.
I do that on wine lists that are more than like a page. Like if I have more than 4 choices on like a kind of wine, I'm like, do you know things about stuff? I don't know. Why don't you tell me how much money you're comfortable spending by picking the fucking wine? Because like I don't want to. There are too many traps here. Like I could order the wrong wine for whatever the fuck we're drinking based on information that everyone supposedly has, or I could be presumptuous and order a wine that's too expensive, or I could demonstrate my fucking whatever by ordering. You fucking do it. I can't handle.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with that either. I'm like,
I want a whiskey. Neat.
Yeah, dudes are the way that it's crazy. You would think that the way that I've heard men just out in the wild talking about it.
No, they're terrified, and I'm like, but what are we at? But I think they're terrified of something that isn't happening.
No,
I think they're terrified of like this supposed mass lynching of dude dicks that like we just wanted to have a conversation about how some stuff that seems to be happening all the fucking time.
Yeah,
isn't okay.
Yeah, I had the other night. Some dude I was at my friend's working at this karaoke place and we're just talking and I was writing and this guy just starts like touching my back. He was really drunk and he walks in, he's like, oh, and I'm like, and he just like put his hand on my back and he had his fingers were painted red. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's cool. And I think that maybe, I don't know, but I was like, and then he just like started to caress my lower back and I was like, because I was like, oh, I'm going to start my period in a second. Mm-hmm. And I said that as a way to be like, I'm not going to fuck you. And like, this is how so I was like, oh, my back just hurts. I have really bad cramps. And he started to rub my back. And I had to be like, oh, no, that wasn't an invitation for you.
Right, no, you misunderstood. I wasn't asking for help with my problem. Right. I was telling you to stop fucking touching me.
Right. I was not asking you to touch my body.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, but I think it's good that we're having the conversation now where we can go like, knock it off.
Yeah.
And it's both, it's for men to start listening, but it's also because women have to understand and be more empowered to understand that, like, they're allowed to do that. We're allowed to say something and it's okay. And I think it's going to take a little while.
And that's I think, a
forward
difference in the analysis, right? Because I read the Atlantic piece, right? The humiliation of Aziz Ansari. And I hear where that author's coming from, where she's like, even though we were raised to be wives and mothers, we're stronger than this generation that was raised to be in the C-suite because we felt comfortable slapping a dude and you didn't. And I'm like, I'm not buying it. But like, no, this woman felt entitled. She felt entitled to articulate her preferences, and she felt so entitled that she expected him to listen to her and to heed her wishes, and was upset because that expectation wasn't met. I don't think that it's like women in the past thought that they deserved to be treated with more respect. I think that they were fighting for their fucking lives because if they got a reputation for fucking, their social capital evaporated and they wouldn't have access. I think that we've kept women in a state of fear with the slut shaming thing, that there were real consequences to their fucking lives. And that's kind of what I'm saying is like, hey, I don't think sluts were hurting anyone. I think dudes that feel comfortable bullying women in bed, maybe they don't hurt everyone they bully, right? Maybe some women are cool with that, but they're hurting enough of them that we ought to discourage it. So why don't we just replace slut shaming with fucking like misogyny, being a dickhole shaming?
I love that.
And that's what I think this is. We're just talking about it.
Yep.
And like, so yeah, we're going to hold you accountable to your reputation, and your reputation includes how you treat women. Because it used to be that men's reputation was only judged based on how they treated and how other men respected them. Yeah. But I'm like, now we're expanding this. If you treat women like bullshit, We're going to talk about it.
Right.
And you will be judged.
And it was almost the opposite. It was more just like the more bitches you just have hanging around you, the cooler you are. Like the more you're just like, yeah, and this chick and she's here and I kicked her out. And like that almost was like a status upgrade. The shittier you were to women.
Yeah.
Which I think it should include.
Which is crazy.
Right. And now I got a problem because my laundry guy used to always, because I would like come down like with like a see-through top on. He's older, but he's like, you could be a model. He's always very complimentary to me.
But no one's ever told you you're pretty.
He has got cataracts.
Okay.
And he's also working for tips, sweetheart.
All
so
right,
don't
fair, reasonable.
Don't get that twisted.
Okay.
He is making money. He's like, yeah, you could have been a model. And I'm like, okay.
Could have been. What are you fucking talking about?
And
I
I
can
give
do that
him,
tomorrow.
And it's the best part of my month when I see him because he compliments me. And then I went outside to open the door. This is the last time when I heard the Matt Lauer thing. And I'm like, son of a bitch. And I'm like, thanks, Andrew. And he was like, all right, Wendi, you take care. And I'm like, God damn it.
No, I get that. I get
so
that.
I got
men are
to get him
scared.
to stop watching the news so I can.
But I mean, like.
So the last time I came downstairs naked with a butt plug. And I was like, I'm just trying to get a compliment.
I'm just trying to give you a real aggressive green light here, dude.
I know. You can tell me I have a nice jawline. I have nipple clamps on.
Do you have thoughts about my butt plug?
Yeah, he's like, it is 8 degrees outside. I'm like, well, you know where it's warm and toasty? Right in here. Let me take this purple Hulk thing out.
Holy shit. But I think this is a necessary conversation. I'm glad
Yeah.
we indulged in it.
Yeah.
I wish more people would, but like I hate the straw man argument of like women are not calling for men's heads or dicks right now.
No.
And also I hate the straw man argument of like women are not claiming that men are not allowed to flirt with them. That is not what's
Right.
happening. It's just like when a woman's like, hey, back off, don't pretend that you can't hear her because you want the answer to be different and just kind of trust that like she won't make a stink about it. Do you know what I mean? And then I wrote this on someone's Mehran's wall the other day, and I stand by it. If you're fucking somebody significantly younger than you, right?
Yeah.
I love Dan Savage's like try to leave it better than you found it kind of like principle, you know, if there's like a big age gap. But I'm like, I don't know, maybe we should be treating the people we fuck like they're going to grow up to write a memoir. Like don't treat people in a way that you don't want reflected.
Right. That should be for anything.
Yeah.
In life, if you're going to pay for dry cleaning.
Yes.
Be nice.
Yeah, be nice. Be nice to your barista. Be nice to your bartender. Be nice to your taxi driver.
Yeah.
Be nice to your neighbor.
Yeah, God forbid, try to treat almost everyone you encounter with enough respect.
And like if that feels like fascism to you know what I mean? Like if we're not threatening to round people up in concentration camps for being rude. That's not
right. That's not what's happening.
No, it's just not.
Yeah, we're not. You know what I think? We could probably, well, shit. I don't know what we want to do here. Because I think, the Nazi thing, I mean, it fits in. Mm-hmm. And we could, you know what, let's just do it.
We can do this in 10 minutes.
Yeah, we'll
We promised you a Nazi story. We're going to give you a goddamn Nazi story.
Yeah, So here's an example. Right. If you're listening all the way through and you're a boy and you're mad and you think we're coming, get your head and dick on a stick.
Oh, that's a good head and dick on a stick. Somebody should make that band happen.
I know. Oh, I'm making Dickopedia happen. You have no idea.
Dickopedia. We're getting excited. All right, let's talk about
real Nazis.
Salon Kitty that happened in real Nazi Germany. So this woman, Katharina Zammit, she was born in Berlin in 1882. She was the daughter of a butcher. And in the early 1930s, she opened up a very nice brothel. Now in the 1930s, the timeline is Hitler really takes power in 1933. That's when the Reichstag fire happens. That's when he's elected chancellor. But like before that, in the after the Weimar Republic, you have and he takes over. The brown shirts take over. It's Kristallnacht. So like the tone in Germany is starting to change, but it's not an emergency yet. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So the Weimar Republic, like where cabaret was based out of, basically, where it's like freaks and weirdos are welcome and cool and brothels are chill and like cabarets are awesome. And then the tone slowly starts to shift to more of fascism, Nazi, wholesome whatever.
So it's like, be like you're at dinner and the guy first he orders wine for you. It's bad, but it's not that bad. No one's putting hands in your mouth yet.
Yes, yeah, that's a lot like what happened in Nazi Germany. Yeah. It starts off where you're like, this feels like a red flag, but like I can live with this.
Yeah, you're like, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. I mean, how bad could it possibly get?
Right.
This could probably be fine. So she opens a business in Berlin in the early 1930s. It's a brothel and it's going awesome. All right. But she starts to feel that tension of like, oh, this is getting creepy. Nazis they're anti-gay, they're anti-Jew, they're anti-intellectuals. They gotta be anti-whore, right? Like, you're not safe in a society that's any society that's clamping down on the gays is clamping down on the whores. That's just science, right? So she starts sending money through these British, through her British clients to try to create like a nest egg and an escape route for herself. And in 1939, things get bad enough that she tries to leave. She's stopped at the Dutch border. She's taken in by the Gestapo. They give her a very clear option. Either cooperate with us or you can go straight to the concentration camp right now. So she goes, all right, I'll do whatever you want. So they shut down her brothel. They outfit it with wires in every room. 5 desks in the basement of people like taking not stenographers. Yeah, maybe stenographers. Mm-hmm. Taking notes on everything they hear while they're recording it for this massive intelligence operation. And then they get 20 women and they send them to a 7-week how to be a spy program and put them in this fucking brothel and start taking notes on how the elite in the military and bureaucratic and like diplomat class feel about the Führer and the Third Reich and all of their ideas. So it's like an intellectual, emotional purity test where they're like, we're gonna get you drunk, we're gonna put you in the arms of a trained whore spy. Yeah. We're gonna listen to everything you say, and she's trained on how to like milk the truth out of you. And if you don't have the right answer, we'll kill you, because that's what fascism is. And that's what's different between fascism and feminism. Feminists are just going to get mad. Fascists will fucking kill you. And it's a really important distinction. You know what? Lumping in these fucking feminazis in with real Nazis is just as bad as limping together a bad date with rape. And it's worse. You dumb cunts.
That's amazing. That's reassuring. Here's the difference between Nazis and
feminists.
Or the difference between fascism and feminism. Fascists will murder you, and feminists will just like be real mad.
They will just be real mad.
I'll just silently eat dinner across from you.
Right.
I will just silently stare at you.
I might write a strongly worded letter somewhere.
Right. Oh, right. We've got enough media outlets online. I will write a strongly worded.
I'm going to make it much more difficult for you to become a member at this club, because me and my husband are in good standing. It's like, what are you fucking talking about? Yeah, fascists are like, oh yeah, we'll just work you to death.
Right. Wait, so they put a spy training camp? That's
they put
awesome.
them in spy training camp. So they recruited the women in 2 different ways, right? So they did start arresting prostitutes, because prostitutes were like antisocial, is what asocial. Mm-hmm. Like, they were discouraging prostitution, but they were also controlling it because they're fucking Nazis.
Right.
So they arrested women for prostitution, and then like the especially pretty ones, they were like, but do you want to be a prostitute for us? And then they sent them to this camp. And then they put out ads, and they were like, do you love the motherland? Are you a huge Hitler fan? Do you like to fuck? Sign up for being a Nazi prostitute for your country. Like, they use the same like
holy
like pro-war rhetoric. Like, we were doing the same thing too, right? Like, send your boys off to war, tell them to fight for freedom. Like, we do all that shit. So they were like, are you this is your way to help the war effort, basically. So they got all these real like Nazi prostitutes that were trained in like how to get information out of people, and then they fucked people. And
see, if we had that here, I would be the military, sir. If that was a branch of the U.S. military, to just be like,
we should do USO tours.
Yes, as sex workers, not as comedians, not as public speakers. We're not gonna like. What are they gonna do? Well, they're either gonna do like be funny, they're gonna do a history lesson, or they're gonna like
they're just gonna fuck as many people as they can for their country,
right? Or they'll just have like we'll give them a current event topic. Mm-hmm. Kaytlin will read it, Wendi will not, and then they'll argue about it.
Oh, that's perfect.
We'll do that's good. That's like that. We have 4 options of a show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that could fill up a weekend.
I think we could do a whole weekend.
We could do a weekend in Kuwait with that. Yeah. Are they still in Kuwait? I don't know.
Ice pack on my pussy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. So now, did they catch anybody? Did they?
Yeah, they caught a bunch of people. They caught like Mussolini's son-in-law and had him executed for thinking that the Führer was like a jackass, which I think he was.
Dude, now, if you cunts want to talk about fascism and making, out of control statements, calling feminists fascists, that does not sound dissimilar to who we have in office now. Now, he is not killing people, but he is straight up like
suing them,
firing people.
Yes.
Like
using the FBI to go after people. He's doing
Yes.
a lot of really creepy, crazy shit. I love this porn star sexually humiliating him.
Yes.
So much. This porn star is doing everything that they were accusing Grace of doing, but actually she had strategic sex, not for her pleasure, obviously.
Yeah.
And then she leveraged it into media and money because she's a fucking old pro. That's not what Grace was trying to do. Grace walked in there thinking that they were going to have like a mutually beneficial thing. This bitch took one look at Trump and was like, I bet if I endured fucking him, I'll get something out of him eventually.
Yes.
She didn't have to cry rape. She just told the humiliating truth. I love it. I fucking love it.
I like that. I think we should be telling humiliating stories about men and their terrible hookups.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
In fact, if you want to tune in for that, that can be our next. If you're a patron supporter, we can start telling humiliating stories. Why don't we do that? Why don't we knock out 2 humiliating sex stories? So if you're not already a Patreon supporter, get on it for the low cost of $5 a month. You can listen to us tell a humiliating sex story that makes the dude look real bad.
Yeah. And we're first and last names. Is it about you? Who knows?
Who knows? Tune in now.
You could be a famous person on the show. What's the So when we talked about the CIA used sex workers to get intel the Nazi Germany.
To look at people on acid and then have thoughts about that. They So and then they use.
But it's like spies and for coercion. You think you dudes would be a lot nicer to chicks since you need us to help you get shit from other dudes.
Yeah,
because they're not listening to your dumb ass, and so you have to send us in.
Yeah,
but that's happening that happened in Nazi Germany, and it makes sense because sex workers are, and obviously like not even the old sense of like, back in like the times of like geishas and all that kind of stuff where we were like the confidants to wealthy, powerful men. And we've talked about that. But even in this very kind of like unorganic way where they're like, hey, listen, ho.
Yes.
Here's a wire. Here's this. We're going to train you how to do this. And we need you to get asked these because it's like the people, we've talked about this before, how society, the people on the very top need the people on the very bottom.
Yes.
And sex workers are still, we're even currently now, we're the last.
Connected.
Yeah. And the sex workers are the last like underbelly kind of society.
Increasingly immigrants also. I think that ICE is like, if you want to talk about like what's most fascist in America right now, I don't think it's feminism. I think it's ICE. Oh, for sure.
You think?
Yeah. I'm like, we are literally rounding people up from their homes and businesses, tearing them away from their families, and then like sending them away. And you think that feminism is the most Nazi-like element in American society right now? You're fucking smoking. Let me wrap this up real quick so we don't leave it on a hanger. So end of the war, the brothel gets bombed. So they relocate down to the basement, and it just kind of peters out. And then eventually, after the war is over, they take all their shit out. Nothing survived. I don't know if they... And apparently, they say nothing survived because there was no valuable information, but I think there was a ton of valuable and embarrassing information, so they just got rid of all of it.
Yeah. Wait, you think... Hold on. You're telling me that you are making a guess that Nazis... lied about something.
That is, I mean, they were meticulous at record keeping, but I think they burned that shit to the ground.
Okay, all right.
And
I'll have to take your word for it again. I did not read the article.
They told Miss Schmidt that if she kept her mouth shut, nothing bad would happen, and so she continued to run her brothel and did not say anything for the rest of her life, and her kids took over after her.
Cool.
So she died at the age of 74 of old age shit, not being bothered the rest of her life. But,
see?
Yeah.
That's the one thing we'll say. Those Nazis protected the one whore.
They did protect that one whore.
That's the one.
Say what you will.
Right. But I think
they killed a lot of others.
Yeah, they killed a lot.
They kept their word.
That's so intense. Well, and it's because it's the one that's the last kind of group where people feel comfortable sharing secrets with each other. And I know it's like, and I'm not being like outrageous. This is from examples of my own personal life. I know like sex workers, drug dealers are like, will sit and have really open conversations about everything.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, what?
Comics.
Oh yeah.
Who are also an underbelly, I think.
Because and they like will share all kinds of information and we feel comfortable. And I think people in quote like higher status,
more to lose
above us, they have more to lose, but they feel comfortable telling things to because there's something it's like with a drug dealer, like Or if I'm in a, it's like the drug dealer's not going to tell on me. That's like my brother used to deal drugs. And I can remember he sold some shit that was like not what he said it was.
Mm-hmm.
And my friends, so my brother, they're like, we bought drugs from your brother. And like, this is some bullshit he got from CVS. And they were mad. And they were like, their first instinct was, oh, I got ripped off in a business deal. Which is like, what are you going to do? You're going to go to the cops? You were buying drugs.
Right, yeah.
You can't go to the cops. You are just fucked.
No, the system does not protect you when you operate outside of it.
No.
Like, and that's like, yeah, so all that shit is not available to you that is available to the rest of civil society.
Right.
And that's what freedom is. And that's why freedom's so fucking vulnerable.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're good people to get. And that's why cops, and they use, obviously, like we see in movies, stuff like that, but they'll use like drug dealers and gang members. And it's like, hey, look, we're going to not throw your ass in jail, but you got to help us.
Yep.
Get the kingpin or whatever.
Is it extortion or is it a good tactic? I don't know. In Nazi Germany, let's call it extortion because they're the bad guys.
I'm gonna say, now here's the time I will take a blanket statement.
Okay.
That the Nazis were bad guys.
That Nazis were bad guys and what they did was real wrong.
Right.
Oh, God. So San Francisco recently passed a new ordinance where they're going to stop arresting prostitutes who are reporting or witnesses to violent crimes. So what was happening is that San Francisco police officers were sometimes violently raping and sometimes just arresting prostitutes that were reporting crimes, because you'd walk into the police officer and you'd be like, hey, this guy stabbed my friend. We were working together selling pussy. And they'd be like, thanks for admitting to being a prostitute.
Right.
We'll arrest you for that first, and then we'll eventually get to this guy. But honestly, that's just what you deserve for being an old pro. That's like, so
Right.
fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, this is a problem, not just for prostitutes and sex workers, but also for society, because we're not catching that guy that's stabbing people, because we're ignoring the first line of defense, which is the women on the street. So we're rethinking that and and they're promising sex workers basically immunity if they are operating as pro-social witnesses and helping to put violent offenders in jail.
That's
which
perfect.
Is brilliant.
Now that's the nice way to do it.
That's the nice way to do it.
In theory, it's the same idea.
Yeah. We won't kill you or arrest you or put you in a cage if you just give us the information we're looking for.
Right. Now, the difference is if you put that out there first and go, hey, if you want to give us information, we're not going to, we're not going to, we're not going to punish you.
Yep.
That's the nice way to do it. The backwards way to do it is to put a gun to somebody's head and go, I will not blow your brains out and put you in jail if you tell on these people.
I also think it's different because San Francisco seems to be looking for violent criminals and prioritizing violent criminals, and the Nazis were looking for Jews. So that's different. That's an important distinction.
And Jews, and I've known a Jew or two in my day. They're the least violent.
Yeah. Very not a violent people.
No, and I'm talking about my first boyfriend, but very sweet, and they're easy to catch because they've got sinus problems.
Oh man.
That Wendi, Rebecca.
All right. Follow us on Twitter at Old Pro Podcast. Check out our website, The Oldest Profession, podcast.com. That's correct.
Yes.
Email us at theoldestprofessionpodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, I'm excited to hear the feedback on this.
Follow me at Kaytlin Bailey.
On Twitter, I'm at Wendi Starling. On Instagram, at WendyBird82. We have links for our show February 15th at Club Cumming.
10 p.m. It's going to be a really exciting time. We're offering free admission to anyone who shows up for court support for Justice for Cayenne. So check that out on Twitter.
That's going to be the morning of. So the show's Thursdays that morning. And as we get closer, we'll post information about that. And so we'll come hang out there. And good job, everybody who went to the Women's March.
Yeah.
Because this is coming out in the future.
Yeah, I'll be there with a bunch of old pros. We're going to be marching.
You were there, past tense.
Oh, that's right. I was already there.
Attention.
I was already there.
That's the magic.
That's already happened.
The magic of entertainment.
Yeah. If you're into humiliating dude stories, become a Patreon supporter.
Yeah. Oh my God. And email us and we'll read your humiliation stories.
Yes.
We'll start our own Wikipedia on the show.
Thank you so much for listening. This has been
The Oldest Profession.
This This episode is sponsored by Velvet Swing, which is a cannabis-enhanced lube that is very nice.
Ooh.
You should follow the founder. This is a whore-owned and operated business.
Okay.
Mistress Matisse on Twitter. So buying this product supports not just your own sex life, but also the sex worker rights movement. Mistress Matisse is a big deal.
Thank you, mistress.
Yes, you can follow Mistress Matisse at Mistress, M-I-S-T-R-E-S-S, Matisse, M-A-T-I-S-S-E.
Yeah, you know why I feel so good? Because while you were in the kitchen about 10 minutes ago before we recorded this, I took the cannabis lube and I jammed it in my butthole. I'll tell you, not the thing.
How do you feel?
Amazing.
Right? You feel relaxed?
I feel my butthole feels great.
Your butthole feels
Oh my
relaxed?
God, I didn't even think about this. This would be great for anal.
Of course. Yeah, you can't overestimate the importance of a relaxed butthole.
I love anal already. I'm going to be squirting all over the wall if I put some... Okay, now I do want to wrap this because I want to go get fucked.
Velvet Swing, so you can get high while getting down.